I am really surprised that you guys have come back for episode 3 of the Grimm series. But why not? So this one is going to be all about Grimm 2. All right, so this was version 1.1.2 on the builds, based on my notes and what I can see on the inside. We're not really going to be doing a whole lot of switching on the inside, because the only thing really that there is to adjust is the dry boost, which we went over in great detail in episode 2, and then my impedance. And since I leave the impedance the same, which is right up the middle for the potentiometer, I'm not really going to be able to kind of show anything different. Now, to me, this version of the Grimm between 1 and 2 was my least favorite. I don't know specifically what changed, other than the tone control was taken out. And I spoke with Shay. The tone control on the Grimm 2 and 3, and I believe on the boomstick, it's about 1 o'clock on that potentiometer. You know, Grimm 1 had it. So these are at a fixed value, which is kind of the same ballpark where I run it on most of my other Tube Screamer style variant pedals. But so the tone control does, by taking that out, I'm assuming that might be what affected it, just enough to where it's different, because the potentiometer, from what I remember the conversation, the potentiometer was pre tone stack. So whatever that value was fixed to, it was before it hit that tone stack in the pedal. So in this one, what we'll do is we'll go over the, because the controls are basically the same. The only real difference is that tone control was taken out on the inside, but there is some subtle changes between the two. So we'll talk about 2 for a minute, and then we'll compare it. We'll A/B it to 1 and 2. I probably should have changed my video. Oh well, I'll do it in another one. But yeah, I probably should have did that. Anyways, you'll notice when this light's off, obviously I'll go to that one. You'll be able to hear it. So the clipping switch was changed positionally. Instead of being left for clipping, it is now up. Or is it down? Shit, I forgot. I believe it's down. Down is clipping, up is diodes. You'll be able to tell the difference. Diodes typically are a little darker in tone. They thicken that signal up, you know, kind of give it a nice chunky butt. So we'll start off with the LED clipping on both of them. I do have the tone, or the controls, kind of the same a little bit. There is going to be a coarse part variant or part tolerance, so it's not going to be identical no matter what. You can have 5 of the same pedals set to the exact same, and they're all going to sound different. You know, part tolerance is a thing, so that could also be some of the issues. But nevertheless, Brian Wampler did a phenomenal video showing what part tolerance and how it interferes or interacts with the pedals, and what people tend to hear. It's more or less that 5 to 10% part tolerance. So always keep that in mind. I'm not a perfect player by any means. You know, my setup and everything is not perfect. So I try to show the best that I can as a hobbyist player what these all sound like. You know, I'm not in it for a full-time job. So just keep that in mind. Part tolerance is a thing. So Grimm 2, there is the high pass filter, which is a low cut, which is what it's called on Grimm 1. Of course, you have your low pass filter. I keep those all the way counterclockwise, or all the way clockwise, which allows all of that frequency to pass through. Of course, I'll show you, if you roll it back, you can really darken your tone up quite a bit. A high pass filter, or low cut, or a tight knob, I would typically run between 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, and noon. I don't really go past much there. I do like a thicker signal. So, everything else is the same. The Grimoire, of course, a beautiful guitar. We are using the Mesa single rectifier, the Mojo Tone ISO cab with the DW75 and the Jensen Nighthawk 75. Everything else is the same, so let's go. think I lied to you guys. I think down is the diodes and up is the LEDs. You know, I'd flip it over and show you, but when I flip this over, you guys will see you don't see the LEDs. So again, at the top in this one is your dry boost. The bottom right, down there by the serial number 39, that is your LED brightness. And that one in the bottom left corner by that ground is your impedance. So there's not a whole lot to really mess with on the Grimm 2 that is not already on the outside. So back to it. Down is going to be the diodes, up is going to be the LEDs. Alright, so that is the Grimm 2 in comparison to the Grimm 1. Now, I don't know what it is about the Grimm 2 that I never quite liked. So comparing it to the Grimm 1, it's a lot tighter. It's kind of got an upper mids kind of thing, kind of nasally. As you can tell, the bite knob on this is closer to 9 o'clock, and the bite knob on the Grimm 1, well, you can't even freaking see the damn thing. The bite knob is closer to 11 o'clock on the Grimm 1. And what that does to me is there's got to be a shift somewhere in the tones, or the, you know, not the tones, but the mid shift somewhere. The Grimm 2 is a lot tighter though overall. There is that, and the Grimm 1 sounds a little more open. It's not quite as squished or compressed as the Grimm 2. In my opinion. Who am I? You know what? Ooh, fat guy on the internet. So that's kind of it, man. That's the Grimm 2 in comparison to the Grimm 1. I will try to notate on the screen as well the clippings and you know which one was on and off. So stick around for episode number 3 because we're going to talk about the Boomstick before we get to Grimm 3. Just because that was the order release. So 1, 2, Boomstick, prototype, and then the Grimm 3. So tell me in the comments what your thoughts are so far. We'll see you in the next episode.